Hello and welcome to our CIFF47 Community Engagement Program Information Session. I am Patrick Shepard, CIFF Associate Director, and I am joined by my colleagues, managers Mary Brown and Jen Vincent for the Community Engagement Program. Please note that this YouTube broadcast link will remain active for on-demand viewing after the conclusion of the program. But if you're joining us live, we welcome your questions. Feel free to put those in the chat, and after we get through the various elements we want to cover, we'll circle back to the Q&A at the end of the program. And at any time, you can email me at patrick@clevelandfilm.org at any time now or in the future. But let's start off by just giving you a summary of the history and our plans for this year as it relates to the Cleveland International Film Festival. So we're going to take a look. We're going to take a look at this slide deck here. So first of all, the mission of the Cleveland International Film Festival is to promote artistically and culturally significant film arts through exhibition and education to enrich the life of the community. And the photo that you see here is actually the filming of our trailer for CIFF47. This took place last October in 2021. And we were celebrating our arrival at the first ever festival at Playhouse Square. And that was just a great and fun trailer. We had, I believe, about 200 volunteers to help make that happen. So the pandemic has been a disruption for all of us, including the film festival. And we, as an organization, had our board vote unanimously to move the film festival from Tower City Cinemas to Playhouse Square in December of 2019, just months before the pandemic hit. So our plan was to hold our 30th and final festival at Tower City in 2020 and move to Playhouse Square in 2021. That obviously did not happen. And as a result, there were 1,088 days between the last day of the 43rd Cleveland International Film Festival at Tower City Cinemas and opening night of the 46th Cleveland International Film Festival. But we are so honored and thrilled to have Playhouse Square as our forever home. Very few cities in this country have this incredible arts destination. It's the second largest theater district in the United States outside of Lincoln Center in New York City. And we're just so proud that we are returning some of these century-old theaters to their original purposes when we screen films there. So we were so thrilled to have our first festival at Playhouse Square. It was a hybrid festival, though. So we had opening night on March 30th, and that followed with 10 full days of the festival that ran through April 9th, 2022. And then that was followed by 8 days of streaming from April 10th through the 17th. And here on this slide, you see the various metrics for the festival. And of course, we want to thank many of you who are with us who came together to build a cohort of 141 community partners, nonprofits that supported various films in the festival. Our attendance overall was 77,531. That's 28,567 in person and just under 49,000 online views. And we're very pleased with those numbers for our first ever festival at Playhouse Square, our longest festival ever, and our first ever hybrid. Filmmakers are, of course, what makes the festival special. And we did have 327 filmmakers that participated in 233 conversations at CIFF47. And that includes post-film Q&As in the theaters after the films. That includes the CIFF Speaks podcast episodes, but that also includes the many engagements that community partners built in the chat room and virtually, and we'll talk more about that later. We do have a continued commitment to racial equity. Of course, for decades, we've been screening films that are shining a light on injustice in our society. And we as an organization and our board really wanted to build on that a few years back. So there's an entire section of our strategic plan goal framework that addresses racial equity. This is the lead statement for that section, but we are very much looking internally in terms of supplier diversity, in terms of representation amongst our various stakeholders. So a very important element of the work of the Cleveland International Film Festival. We have special programs. They were at CIFF46 and they're coming back for CIFF47. The Groundbreaker Award elevates a BIPOC, that's Black, Indigenous, or Person of Color filmmaker at each festival. And Brooke Swanee was the director of Daughter of a Lost Bird. She was at the festival last year. Dream Maker, it elevates an LGBTQ plus filmmaker, and Chase Joint, a trans filmmaker from Canada, joined us as he was the director of Framing Agnes. What's common about these two programs is that they both receive $5,000 cash prizes for winning the awards. And in addition to the typical engagements that we have, we really work to immerse them in their various communities. And we very much look forward to doing so again when we announce all of that sometime in February. So we have, this is the reason we're here today, the Community Engagement Program. I did mention that we had 141 community partners here, and what you see in the image behind it is it's one of those engagements. It was facilitated by the Chief Executive Officer of the Positive Education Program, Habiba Grimes, and she interviewed the film guests for the documentary film Messwood, and that was one of many programs that took place in the CIFF46 chat room. And again, we'll talk more about that in a bit. Film Slam, if you've not heard of it, it is our private screening. They are our private screenings for students in grades 5 through 12. And until the pandemic hit, Film Slam was entirely in person. You had to show up at the festival to experience it. But in the wake of the pandemic, we did begin distance learning with respect to our programming. So I'm proud to share that for the academic year 2021 to 2022, we had over 335,000 student streams. And our first Film Slam at Playhouse Square, and our first one since 2019 in person, we had nearly 5,000 students, many of which were from the Cleveland Metropolitan School District. So if you know somebody that works in education and you think this might be of interest, it's not something that gets a lot of attention publicly because, again, these are private screenings that you do not see on the public schedule. But feel free to email me at patrick@clevelandfilm.org and we can share more information if you're interested about that. This is the list of digital impressions that encompass the 19-day run of CIFF46. Overall, just a bit over 1.4 million. We have very robust Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram platforms. We have a CIFF Speaks podcast. We have a very healthy email broadcast database, and our website is something that people use over and over because not only do they want to see the program when it goes live on the website, we often have added films that come in after that release takes place. And sometimes we even have added screenings of popular films that we add in the midst of the festival. So here we are, the 47th Cleveland International Film Festival. Once again, a hybrid festival opening on Wednesday, March 22nd with opening night. We'll run for 10 full days at Playhouse Square in 4 auditoriums: the KeyBank State Theater, the Mimi Ohio Theater, the Allen Theater, and the Upper Allen. We will be in the Palace for opening night, but for the most part, we don't anticipate being in the Palace a lot more beyond that. So CIFF47 streams will follow immediately after the first. It'll run for 8 days from April 2nd through April 9th. So that's our game plan for CIFF47. CIFF Artistic Director Mallory Martin is working with her team to curate over 200 films that will be presented in collected programs. Like last year, all CIFF47 films will have 1 or 2 screenings at Playhouse Square. We hope to include as many of those films on the CIFF47 Streams platform as possible, but some feature films will have limitations and will not be presented virtually. We are anticipating hundreds of film guests again this year, and we plan to unveil the films, our schedule, sidebars, awards, competitions, and programs on Friday, March 3rd at 11 a.m. on our website at clevelandfilm.org. And now I'm going to ask Mary to talk about our community engagement program plans for this year.
Well, hello everyone, and it's a pleasure to be with you today. I want to take this opportunity to thank all of our seasoned community partners and welcome any new nonprofits that are joining us for the first time. The Community Engagement Program has been an important part of CIFF for over 2 decades. As you may already know, this program builds and strengthens partnerships with other nonprofits by connecting them to the festival films that are relevant to their mission and work. Partnering entities agree to publicize festival films in exchange for promotion via our online platform. I want to underline that for-profit entities, colleges, universities, media, and medical institutions are not eligible for participation in this program. However, we welcome cash sponsorship for those establishments. Community partnerships are trade in nature. There is no cash obligation from the organization for this co-marketing opportunity. The catch, however, is that there must be a film in the festival that matches the organization's mission and work. If there is no such film, there is not an opportunity for a partnership this year, but maybe next year. Applications are now open and the link is being placed in the chat. The deadline for submitting applications is next Friday, January 20th. We will work to build as many community partnerships as possible by February 20th.
All right. And at this point, we want to welcome Jennifer Vinson, who is returning to our team this year. We're so thrilled about that. Can you talk about the contract that I'm about to put on the screen?
Sure. Thank you, Patrick. So if Mary is able to confirm a film partnership for your organization, our team will work with you on a few items, beginning with signing the contract. As you see here, the contract outlines the benefits of partnership provided to our nonprofit partners, as well as our expectations. The benefits your organization will receive include logo placement on the film festival website, logo placement before your partnered film as follows. For Playhouse Square in-person screenings, the organization logo will be included on a scrolling pre-show presentation prior to the start of all screenings. If the film will also be shown during CIFF47 streams, the logo will be included on a slide that will appear prior to the screening of the partnered film. Your organization will receive verbal recognition at in-person screenings during pre-film introductions. We'll talk more about this soon, but community partners also have the option to create your own conversation. Your organization is encouraged to coordinate and facilitate a discussion about the partnered film, either through a digital platform of your choosing or in person. More details about this opportunity will be available upon request, and this program can be promoted by CIFF. Upon request, you may also receive 4 vouchers, which will be redeemable for either an in-person or online screening of the partnered film. In return, CIFF asks our nonprofit partners for the following support. Your organization will pledge to promote the partnered film through your digital platforms, such as email newsletters, social media, and if possible, your website. CIFF hopes for the sale of a minimum of 10 discounted tickets to any screenings of the partnered film through the unique ticket discount code we provide. Your organization understands that all CIFF47 programming information is confidential and embargoed until the festival website goes live, which is currently scheduled for Friday, March 3rd at 11 a.m. Each organization understands there is no exclusivity in partnering with the film, and any CIFF47 film may have other cash sponsors or nonprofit community partners connected to a film. All organizational representatives agreed to adhere to the CIFF Code of Conduct. And finally, the organization will submit an in-kind donation form detailing the digital marketing promotion facilitated by the organization, preferably to the value of $1,000 or more, by May 12th, 2023. As mentioned before, we'll provide your organization with a unique ticket discount code, which is among the most important elements of the partnership. The partner organizations will be given a customized discount code for distribution. This helps us track ticket sales that have been generated through your efforts. Remember that this discount code can be distributed to any and all of your stakeholders, and it can be used for any film in the festival, not just the partnered film. The discount code provides a savings of $1 per ticket for any CIFF47 film, though the discount is not valid for opening night, special events, or in combination with any other discount. For Playhouse Square screenings, non-member ticket prices are $18, meaning the $1 discount code will reduce the price to $17. And for CIFF47 streams films, non-member ticket prices are $14, so the $1 discount code will reduce the price to $13. I will now turn it back over to Mary.
Thank you, Jen. I want to take this opportunity that has proven to be of increasing value to our nonprofit partners in recent years. While this is an entirely optional opportunity, we have found that community partners have curated conversations about the partnered film in increasing numbers. And this can be done with or without a filmmaker, virtually or in person at Playhouse Square. And so an in-person opportunity would be in the chat room, for example. And we are bringing that back again this year. Now we're going to share a few of the examples of what we were able to do last year. And these were opportunities that use the chat room. So the first one that we're taking a look at is Framing Agnes Conversations. And this is a banner that the two organizations that participated were the LGBT Center and Trans Ohio. So this was a very successful chat room example. The next would be with Oyate. And this was a conversation, again, this gives you a view of the chat room. That was a panel discussion that was organized through that included the filmmaker and the community partner. Here's another, this was Daughter of a Lost Bird, and this was supported by the Lake Erie American Council and Adoption Network. And then you can also see just a few slides of the audience that participated in these various events. So this would be a live opportunity. There's also a lot of ways that people can use virtual engagements. And so we've got a few to share with you to give you some examples. So one was with the Cleveland Public Library that curated a YouTube interview with Vivian Kleinman. We also had the Ennisville Book Award had an interview with the filmmaker around the film One Pine at a Time and did a story about that that they posted. This is another way. Another one was Being Michelle. It was the film that they actually with Thriving Roots created a webinar, and that was another way. So there's many ways that you can tease out information, push it out through social media, both to help the filmmaker and gain audience and share it with your audiences. And then the last was with the Great Lakes Science Center. And this was around the film Zero Gravity and an interview that was placed on YouTube around with the director Zero Gravity. So these are just a few examples of the really successful virtual and in-person opportunities that the community partners were able to do for last festival.
All right, thank you, Mary. I want to touch on some changes from past years that directly affect our community engagement program. We are launching a brand new website, and while the film pages will have a different design, community partners, their logos will still be included alongside the website-based film descriptions, and we can hyperlink directly to the website landing page listed in the application submitted by each nonprofit organization. We will be releasing a limited edition printed CIFF47 film guide in March. Right now, we are estimating that this piece will be 76 pages in length, and it will look very, very different from the 200-plus page perfect bound program guides that we produced in many years leading up to 2020. And here's how it's going to look differently, because it's being shrunk down to a much smaller size. So only the film descriptions and the schedule will be included. Community partners will be recognized within the film guide, but the design is such is that there will not be space for cash film sponsor, media partner, or nonprofit community partner logos next to the film descriptions. But again, to reiterate, community partners will be acknowledged in the film guide. These are included as a benefit of paid membership for CIFF and will be on sale at the festival. But the PDFs of this piece will be downloadable for free from the website. I want to talk about the tables, what we called the Community Engagement Corner until 2019 at Tower City. It actually had a really good location in the Tower City Cinemas lobby, but it does not translate well to Playhouse Square. So we did attempt to bring it back last year, and it was not really successful and not a good use of partners' time and resources. Since the only space that we could place the corner or the tables was the Idea Center Gun Studio, it was not in the general path of audiences exiting most theaters, and it really did not work. But this is what I want to emphasize. We honestly feel that the best use of partner resources is to either hold an in-person or virtual engagement around the film. So now I'm going to ask Mary to come back and talk about next steps to apply.
Okay, so here are the next steps for nonprofits. The application process is now open and ready for you to apply via the Google form link that we are now placing in the chat, so you can view that. We ask the interested organizations to submit an application by Friday, January 20th. Here are the highlights of the application that will help us match films to nonprofits. First and foremost, tell us about your organization's mission. Please include information about current programs, services, and/or initiatives, for example, exhibitions, performances, or educational programs that are planned for 2023 for the purpose of film matching. The information you provide on this application will be the primary way we will be making matches this year. The more we know about your organization and what it's doing this year, the easier it will be for us to see a logical match for a film. We are also asking you to share your organization's ways of promoting the partnered film. You will share the metrics of social media platform, followers, email broadcast, database, and any other form of communications that can be used to promote a CIFF47 film and filmmakers, if applicable. We will make connections to films based on those applications. While there is no guarantee that every application will culminate in a partnership, we will make every effort to make logical connections. This year, we will continue to also look to the short films programming for possible film matches for partners. Back to you, Patrick.
Thank you, Mary. Okay, so Mary will be the primary contact for making the movie matches. Organizations will not automatically be assigned a film. She will contact each organization when we have a potential match. If both parties agree, our new community engagement coordinator, Emily Vincent Bell, will send a contract via the DocuSign online platform, and then there will be additional steps in terms of fulfillment on both sides. So And as Mary said, we're going to make every effort to make as many matches as we can overall. All right, so let's talk about our timeline here now that we've talked about the application process. And I believe that we're going to place the link to this timeline in the chat. But we did open applications last week on January 3rd. And I'm delighted to say that we have more than 65 applications so far, and we're hoping to see more come in after this session. But the two big dates ahead of us are January 20th. That's the application deadline for the Community Engagement Program. And an easy way to remember when we're going to be confirming, but the date by which we hope to confirm all community partners will be by February 20th. So if you just think of it that way, January 20th, February 20th. And we mentioned this before, but this is a pretty big milestone in the festival process. On Friday, March 3rd, our website will go live with the programming and the schedule at 11 a.m. 1 week later, Friday, March 10th, 2023, tickets will go on sale to the general public. And that's when your unique discount codes can begin to be used to purchase tickets. And then we've already talked about the two series of festival dates for the hybrid. March 22nd to April 1st is the Playhouse Square in-person festival. April 2nd through the 9th is CIFF47 streams. And on May 12th, that's the deadline that we will ask you to submit an in-kind valuation form to tell us what you did to support the film. And this is important to us and our independent auditors because they like to know what kind of in-kind donations we receive, and that's a great way to do that. So we're going to place in the link, we're in the chat, we're going to place the application link one more time in case you didn't get it earlier on. I think we've answered any questions in the chat already, but we do want to reiterate that you can email me at any time now or in the future at patrick@clevelandfilm.org. For if you have any questions about the festival overall, the community engagement program, or the like. Once again, just to reiterate, please submit your application by next Friday, January 20th. Thank you for sharing time with us. But most of all, we are grateful for your interest and support of the Cleveland International Film Festival. We hope to see you at Playhouse Square in March. Have a great day.
Thank you.